When I watch Overwatch, it is really easy to be impressed by the flashy plays. You know, the Widowmaker headshot that I would never make, the Doomfist ult that wipes an entire team, or the Pharah barrage that clinches the match. The people you rarely see in these moments are the support players. You know, the video game equivalent of the mom friend who always has Advil in their bag. But supports are the unsung heroes of Overwatch. They are always there, providing crucial buffs for their team.
They are the backbone of team fights. If you lose a tank, not necessarily a wipe, you might be able to make it happen, but if you lose the healers, it's almost always going to be a wipe.
This is Seth King, aka Achilleos, who's been an Overwatch caster since 2016, which was 10 years ago.
There's a lot of really minor plays that supports can make. What it means for how the fight turned out, or how that even how that series turns out of that map, can be crazy.
But to what degree can one decision really make to the outcome of a match? Well, this is esports, so yeah, it can change everything. Let's take one moment on one map from last year's Overwatch League playoffs, where a mix of skill, luck, and amazing support changed the game.
Ding gets picked, and that's the barrage out of the picture.
Oh, they get the gutsy res off though. He's back in the fight.
Unbelievable. Now DM is there. Yeah, point blank, barrage, 2 kills just like that. That's going to open it up, and this is as far as the Vancouver Titans are going to go.
That's the clip, and if you don't get what's happening in it right now, don't worry, we're going to build up to a galaxy brain view of this thing. Right now, what you need to know is, it's the playoffs between the Vancouver Titans and the Shanghai Dragons. They're tied, and whoever wins this map will have a lead and whatever emotional boost comes with it.
Knowing that they're going to get EMP'd at some point in this long fight.
So when I look at this moment, I see a mess. There's just chaos on the objective. The Dragons are defending the last point on Volskaya, and the Pharah player, Ding, dies, gets resurrected by Coma, and then blasts everyone away. That's what I see with my rookie eyes. Like, I understand that this is really high-level play. That's obvious from how fucking fast everyone is moving, but I want an expert to break it down for me. Luckily, we got experts.
People love to be told stories, and that's essentially what it is in an Overwatch match. It's an ever-evolving story, and our job is to present it and try to frame it for you so you can understand it.
This is Robert Kirkbride, aka Hexagrams, aka Hex. Hex is an Overwatch caster, and you've heard his voice already.
Oh, they get the gutsy res off though. He's back in the fight.
But looking back on it now that it's in slow motion and I get to actually see it, it wasn't really a gutsy resurrection. It had to be done. It had to be done.
But why? On the surface, this moment looks like it's about 2 people. Ding, who just died, and Coma on Mercy, who resurrects him. But pro Overwatch players are never just thinking about one thing at a time. There's 6 people on a team. To understand the complexity of this play, I have to tell you about Kamsu, who was fighting for his life on the objective. I have to tell you about Luffy, whose decisions literally made it possible for this play to happen. And I have to tell you about Stitch, playing Sombra for the Vancouver Titans, who made the right play, but ended up super unlucky. He and his team did their best to shut this whole thing down.
Stitch is able to take down Youngdead.
Oh,
looking very good.
This is looking so good now for the Vancouver Titans.
In the beginning of the match, the Titans took point A from the Shanghai Dragons.
Already giving up first point is brutal for Shanghai, because that should have probably been a hold. That's mentally devastating here.
Neither team has any room for error. As the Titans start their assault on point B, each team is looking to charge up their ultimate abilities. Ultimates are going to be crucial in winning this map. Neither team has a lot of time. Anyone who gets their ult will only have one chance to use it effectively. Some characters already have their ults. For the Shanghai Dragons, support character Ana has her nano boost, which will let her boost one player's attack power. And Ding on Pharah has a devastating rocket barrage that does a ton of damage, but is tricky to get off because it makes him a huge immobile target. For the Titans, Slime on Lucio has a sound barrier that will protect his team from taking damage, and Twilight on Moira has Coalescence, an incredibly powerful beam of delicious healing juice that damages the enemy team as well. Twilight turns this beam directly on Ding.
right at the beginning of that point, the first thing they try and do is they use Coalescence, they go around the corner, and they try and actually make a play onto Ding in the sky. That forces him like all the way into that back corner, which gives Vancouver a tick of the point.
This is Matt Morello, better known as Mr. X. He didn't call this particular match, but he does a really good job of explaining it. In the kerfuffle, the rest of the Dragons manage to build their ults and then use them, which kind of sucks because they don't get a single kill. Why? Slime, the Titan support, has saved his sound barrier for just this moment.
He's gonna survive. Sound barrier used, just trying to clear it up.
But Ding doesn't use his ult. He's chasing Titans player Hawksall into this back room, at which point Stitch sneaks up behind Ding, kills him, sets off his ultimate, the EMP, which will prevent the Dragons from using their special abilities.
Never mind, Ding gets picked, and that's the barrage out of the picture.
Coma has to make a decision in that scenario. It's, do I wait for Ding to respawn?
Here's what he has to think about. Ding is the only Dragons player with an ult that's ready. Kamsu is the only tank left on the point. The Titans are focusing on him, and if he goes down too, the Dragons are boned. Only one other person can give meaningful healing to Kamsu, and that person is Luffy. And Luffy is in trouble.
And Luffy has actually one of the really difficult jobs here because as he nano boosts Gamsu, he actually gets jumped on by Bumper, who's playing Winston.
Here's the thing, Ana can't heal through shields, and Bumper has just trapped Luffy in a beautiful shield bubble. Let's visualize. If Luffy can't get out, Luffy can't heal Kamsu. Kamsu, the Dragon's tank, is the only person that can hold the point, and if they lose the point, they lose the game. Therefore, if Luffy can't heal Kamsu, Coma needs to babysit and can't resurrect Farah, who is a loaded gun sitting in the other room ready to go off. But Luffy actually saves the frickin' day here by hitting Bumper with a sleep dart, and so Coma is left with the job that only a Mercy can do: resurrecting a player. He's also making full use of another of Mercy's unique abilities, Valkyrie. Valkyrie is Mercy's ultimate, and arguably the most important thing is that it lets Mercy fly.
It's like you're in free cam mode, a map editor, map hack here. You can move around wherever you want.
Let's go back to that moment that Stitch sets off the EMP, effectively preventing the Dragons from using special abilities for 5 seconds. EMP is a nightmare! For a Mercy player, the EMP takes away all mobility. It affects Guardian Angel, which would let them zip to any player's side, and it would kill their ability to use Valkyrie. 5 seconds is a long time to be immobile for a squishy character like Mercy.
So I'd say the mobility is one of the most important things in the game, if not the most important. No matter who you're playing, if you don't have an escape, then there's a higher likelihood that you get picked off, that you could be staggered.
But Coma dodges the EMP, and once he does, he activates Valkyrie.
I think that Coma's really smart about when he pops Valk. We call it in the league a lot a preemptive Valkyrie, which is pretty much just a correct Valkyrie. Before you're into the fray of things, before the bullets start flying, you want to be in position to avoid those bullets. If you're Valking after somebody died or 2 people died, it's probably too late already, and it's going to be difficult for you to really get the massive work done. Coma's just thinking, what happened to my Farah? I don't have an escape now. We're in trouble here. What do we have left in the bank? Okay, we got a barrage. This is our last chance. I got to go get him.
So here we are. Coma is in full Valkyrie mode. He gives Kamsu a bit of juice and then leaves him in Luffy's capable hands. Then he sails over everyone's heads and into the back room to resurrect Ding.
They don't expect it, and actually one of the most surprising things is Ding pops up and just doesn't even go up to the sky. He just walks through the room, hits a direct rocket, then takes a great angle on the Farah as well.
That clears 2 Titans off the point. The rest is just cleanup. The Dragons win this map and a 1-point lead. But so many things could have gone wrong.
Coma gets hit by that EMP, Mercy can't really do anything in that instance because she can't fly, she loses all mobility. I mean, the way she has survivability, Mercy, is by having her mobilities. Being able to, use the Valkyrie really early, pretty much the same time as the EMP goes off, keeps him alive. I mean, really keeps the team alive. Yeah, if Gamsu goes down on the point, it's an interesting situation because at that point they probably have to resurrect Gamsu instead of Ding, because if you don't have Gamsu in, you can't contest the point.
And one thing that did go wrong ended up being right. Because Ding died, he wasn't able to use his rocket barrage early.
It's the only ultimate left on the board. Everybody's used everything. Ding couldn't. It's the last thing on the board, and it just happens to be the game-winning play.
But this flashy Pharah barrage that clinched the match isn't just about Pharah.
The Pharah Mercy play, yes, it's a lot about Mercy's positioning. It's about being a unit and working in that positioning together, because both those heroes are so dependent on using buildings, using angles, using architecture.
Pulling just this one 15-second play apart shows how important support players are to every big play in Overwatch, and just how much they're juggling at a time. Their decisions can completely change the outcome of a fight, and the role is not as simple as keep everyone alive. Whether they're speed boosting their team into a ball of murder, blasting the enemies with a functional death ray, or reviving crucial teammates in the nick of time, support players are a force to be reckoned with, and Overwatch League wouldn't be the same without them.